Hello folks, today we will be talking about familial systems in detail, starting off with familial structures. Familial structures can be split into views on power systems, consent beliefs, and custody systems. There are three views on custody, 4 views on power systems, and 5 views on consent. Structural patriarchy creates a rigid hierarchy between people of particular gender. Under patriarchy, there is a husband role, and a wife role, and a children role. The husband role has absolute power over the wife role, and the wife role has near absolute power over the child role. Paternalism has the same roles as patriarchy, but with a key difference. The husband and wife roles are equal. This does not mean that everyone is equal, as the child role is still in a position where absolute power can be exercised over them. Non-paternalism is like the parentalist system in that the partners are equal to one another, but differs in that it includes a regulatory entity that has primary custody over all children produced. Moving on to structure, the 4 structures are polygamy, clan, nuclear, and polyamory. Polygamy has a patriarch that rules and regulates individual families, and one partner within those families that is the only person allowed to have multiple partners. A clan system removes the ability to have multiple partners, but keeps the patriarch over the family. A nuclear family removes the patriarch as a regulatory entity and maintains monogamy. Polyamory reintroduces the ability to have multiple partners, but this time it applies it equally across all partners. Next is the consent system. Anti-consent is the belief that consent is not necessary for relations at all. Action-based consent believes that someone's actions produce consent. This is flawed due to the fact that actions can be forced. Verbal consent believes that consent is communicated through verbal affirmation. Informed consent believes that consent needs to be verified in multiple ways before any act can take place. Continuous consent structure believes that consent needs to be reaffirmed throughout the act of relations. So far, this video has been entirely focused on the structure of the family, and for good reason. Familial structure has the largest impact on how the family functions. But the role of gender social structures cannot be ignored. Gender can be seen as the intersection between 2 axes of 3 parts. Views on what gender is and how that gender is structured. Let's take it in depth. Gender patriarchy establishes a hierarchy between static and biologically determined sexual genders. An honor system removes the biological constraints, allowing for people to transition between societal genders, but still organizes them into a hierarchy. A caste system creates an arbitrary division between people groups and organizes them into a hierarchy, effectively creating a division where there was none previously. Trans-exclusive quote, radical feminism, removes the hierarchical structure of patriarchy but leaves the rigid and biologically determined gender system. The queer exclusive transgender movement allows for transition from one gender to another and is non-hierarchical, but maintains a strictly limited number of genders. AGAB radical feminism does not distinguish between genders officially, but practically separates people into distinct categories. Mainline transgender movement focuses on current rigid and loosely established genders. Xenogenderism takes the approach that every individual needs to have their own gender custom tailored to them. Traditional radical feminism believes that societal gender itself is unnecessary and harmful, and as such, should be removed. I hope y'all liked this video. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to support the channel. See y'all!